So my name, in case you didn't catch it, is Dave Trumbo. I am the owner and operator of Motivation Tutoring. That's the primary role that I have here. This particular group, I have had the opportunity to meet most of you, I think, in a one-on-one scenario. So just like to start off by thanking all of you who have spent the time, to get to know me a little bit better and give me the chance to get to know you guys. I think there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for growth between all of us, and really excited about working with all of you for the next, 10, 20, 30 years, hopefully. That we're all successful in what we're trying to do. So Motivation Tutoring was a company founded about 7 years ago by a gentleman named Sam Nadolski. Excellent guy. I worked with him for about 3 years when I was going through the master's program at UWM to get my teaching license. He is still a consultant for me with the company, so he's still affiliated a bit, but took a full-time job with Shorewood High School as their math coordinator. So he was going to disband the company, and I told him that was a terribly foolish idea. He has a great reputation, particularly in the Whitefish Bay and Shorewood area, which, as most of you are aware, is a pretty affluent community. So I was very happy to take the reins from him. It took us maybe 6 or 8 months to negotiate where we were going to land there, but I've taken over now and really love it. So being September here, this is the primary get jumped off, platform kind of moment for us. So I have a ton of work on my plate. It's very exciting to my wife and children that I'm barely available, I suppose. So, our tutors, fortunately, I do have a excellent staff of tutors. I have 17 tutors currently working for the company, as well as myself. When I say that they specialize in what they do, I really mean that. We don't just have like a math tutor or a science tutor or an ELA tutor. We have chemistry tutors, physics tutors, pre-calc tutors, algebra tutors. So when a family calls to inquire about particular services, I'm going to give them the very particular recommendation that's the best fit for their family. I have a nice blend of male and female tutors as well. Some families prefer, I have a daughter, I would like to work with a female tutor, or vice versa, with a gentleman in the house. So we can address all those needs very well. My specialty is actually test prep. So ACTs, big business, super high stakes test. It's essentially your admissions exam to get into college. So obviously parents and students alike really freak out when it comes to taking the ACT. I've developed what I think is a very good curriculum in order to address that, kind of pulled some bits and pieces from all the other sources that are out there and put together my own deal, and it seems to have a pretty solid success rate. National average when they work with supplemental service for ACTs is usually about 1 to 2 point increase. My students usually get somewhere in the 3 to 5 range. So we're doubling that average, which is I'm really excited about that. It's the primary reason right now I actually have more students for ACTs than I could possibly handle. I think I mentioned to a couple of you before the meeting began here today that I had to turn down a client yesterday because I just can't accommodate in my schedule. I have 8 students right now that work with ACTs and 5 of my regular students returning from last year. So between that and my full-time job, I'm kind of stuck there. So might have to branch out and hire a few more people. But one of the things I particularly like working with on students is the corrective feedback loop. So I don't know how familiar a lot of you are with corrective feedback loops and what that means, but essentially learning from your mistakes is the bland way to put it, I guess. So oftentimes in high school, what students will get when they receive a test back is 2 seconds to look at it because of the proliferation of cheating and stealing tests, and the internet being the wonderful resource that it is, where people can share things all day, every day, even if they're maybe not supposed to be shared, kind of deal. Teacher gives it back to you, look at it for 2 seconds, you get your grade, and you turn it back in. So you don't get the opportunity to really look at corrections you need to make, errors you may have made, concept knowledge that you might be missing, strategies that could have been more effectually put into place in your study habits. So that's really something that I address when we work on the ACT kind of prep, is how to get into that loop. We take sample tests for each section, the English, the reading, the math, and the science, and we correct those together. We go through strengths and weaknesses, really work on the individual component of what their test habits and test study strategy should be. So it seems to work out very well. Students seem to like that a lot. And the reason I bring this up is because this is still applicable to all of us in the adult world. The ability to learn from what you're doing, to advance along with technologies in your industry, continue to find better and more successful ways to market yourself is obviously something that's important to all of us, I would imagine, considering that we're all entrepreneurs and trying to do our own thing, get our names out there, network properly. That's why we're part of a group like this. So essentially the corrective feedback loop revolves around just being a self-reflective individual. That's really it. You have to be able to sit there and honestly tell yourself, I see that this is working, I see that this might not be working. This strategy functioned very well for me, this strategy maybe didn't. What am I gonna do to change things? So in my other professional capacity working with Beyond, I encounter a tremendous amount of business owners. We work with small businesses all day, every day. So I can almost predict in walking into a place the ones that succeed in the next 3 to 5 years and the ones that are gonna close doors. Because you can see that they're not really noticing what works in their business and what isn't. You know, they have that stubbornness that a lot of adults have. Just say, hey, you know, this is my way and this is the way I like doing things, and I'm not going to change the way that I'm doing stuff. And if you have that kind of mindset, it's going to be a lot harder for you to grow your business and develop the way that you want to be. So, same kind of mentality that I use with the students when we talk about test prep, which will serve them very well as they move into the college level, because of course there's many more high stakes exams when they get onto that stage. So, perfect. So that transitions me very well right into the chip-in network with Beyond. That was hopefully by design, a little planned, kind of like the shirt too. I didn't mention this. This is actually the shirt that I wore in my advertisements that I have pictured in like the bay leaves in some places.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So if you ever see one of my ads, this is what I wear. I'm branded today, my friends. And the results have been amazing, right?
Yes, they have. The results have been amazing.
Robert helped me develop a while back. So in regards to that self-reflectiveness, that always changing, I know that some of you mentioned, particularly you, cloud-based technologies, you know, how that really impacts, you know, the business that you're working with, and paying attention to how industry changes may affect you. 15, 20 years ago, before all the cloud stuff came around, probably thinking like, hey, you know, I'm doing things just fine, everything is settled well, business is going well, I don't really need anything like that. Once the advent of that technology appears, you may think, you know, maybe that's for somebody else, maybe I need it, maybe I don't. The most successful individuals, the ones that really branch out and profit down the road, are the ones that absorb that technology and utilize it properly. So it sounds like you're doing that very same thing, which sounds like a genius way to run your business, right? So the chip-in network is essentially that very same platform that Beyond has established. So what the chip-in network allows you to do for both business owners and the nonprofit organizations, it allows them to connect with their community in a completely novel way. So the way I initially looked at it, I thought it was a cool little platform that we rolled out. Today I could probably talk to a few people about this. It'd be kind of neat. I've recognized the last couple of months it's a game changer. It's the kind of thing that's going to take fundraising to a level that's never been at before. Essentially giving the NPOs or the for-profits, if you prefer, the opportunity to raise funds 365 days a year without doing the bake sales and the resales and all those wonderful little individual events that you do here and there. You can tie to your donors directly through this network. So say there's a pizzeria down the road that's part of, does business with Beyond. They do processing with us. That pizzeria cannot be found on the chip-in network. I can go on the app on my phone. I can search for this wonderful business in that zip code. I can just type in the zip code and say, hey, this pizzeria is awesome. I go to this pizzeria, I spend money there. That pizzeria is actually donating money back to, say, my son's lacrosse team. Because my son's lacrosse team is also part of the same platform. So your organizations then can be raising money from the places that you already like to frequent. Now, along with that, the donors that are going there, they can do a text to donate platform, so they can donate to their cause back whenever they like, whether it's a PTO, a booster club, working with the MAC fund right now. So I mean, there's no limit, no threshold on a minimum or maximum level as to what kind of nonprofit we can work with. They can be the biggest one. I know we have members of my team right now talking to Make-A-Wish, you know, so they might be onboarding pretty soon. So this is, it's around the country, it's a nationwide company, something that's really pushing fast. So we have daycares onboarded, we have karate studios, driving academies, essentially a Challenge Island, anything that qualifies as a instructional type of business actually qualifies under this platform where we can onboard and help you, raise funds. So, say as that member of the booster club, my son's lacrosse team, which I don't actually have a son on the lacrosse team, my son's 2, so maybe someday. Maybe someday, but right now he's just a little 2-year-old guy. Say I want to go have some pizza for the evening, and I want to find a way to make my purchase for that night actually count for something bigger. I can search again by zip code, find this pizzeria that is supporting my son's lacrosse team, go there, spend my money, maybe 1% of what I spent, then goes back to his organization, or my organization in this case, I guess the lacrosse team. So they're constantly raising funds that way, and then of course I'm going to tell all the other members of the lacrosse team, and I'm going to say, hey parents, did you know, instead of going down to Luigi's up the street, if you go over here to Papa John's or Steve's or whoever, they're going to give back some of the money that you're spending to the organizations that we're already believing in, that we already support, that we already have children as a part of. So gives the opportunity to really tie the community together in a novel way that I haven't seen in any other company that I've ever worked for. So I'm really excited about being able to offer this opportunity to people. It's something that I did want to bring up to the group here, because I know that all of you, in addition to being business owners of your own, obviously the nonprofit component here is very strong. A lot of you have connections to a lot of different organizations of that type, like Nextdoor. I think 1 or 2 of the ones that you mentioned, sponsor that's probably helping you with your studio, organizations of that type. So it's a phenomenal opportunity for the donors themselves, the nonprofits and the for-profit businesses to all tie together into a very community-based kind of entity where they can all raise funds together, share those funds, share the wealth, build a community, get away from that Walmart, Target, big corporate feel that I know not a lot of us are terribly thrilled about. So, including me, even though I do work for a nationwide company, we don't really push product in that particular manner. So, Chipping gives you that opportunity to tie everything together, keep it local, keep it small, but still have everybody gain and grow as one. So, it's gaining tremendous headway. I think they beta tested it and got out of beta back in August. I think they have 600 companies already signed in about a month. So, and I know I've spoke with several of you in the room about this platform. And if you want to learn more about it anywhere along the way, if there's businesses that you're affiliated with that you think could benefit from this in some manner, obviously I'd be more than happy to talk to them about it, because it just seems like a tremendously fantastic way for these companies that we really want to help. Ultimately, it's helping the nonprofits grow and raise funds in a way they can't do otherwise. Give you a quick example before I run out of time. Brookfield East High School is actually one of the members on the platform now. They had $100,000 sitting in their PayPal account that they've raised through certain fundraisers. PayPal actually has a limit of $2,500 that you can remove from your account per week. So at that pace, it's going to take them roughly 10 months to take all the money that they've already fairly raised and that they would like very much to use for certain things. They can't get that. Now, as part of the Chipping platform, they can utilize their money whenever they like. They can withdraw as much as they want. They can put it to use immediately, instead of being bogged down by some of the restrictions that a lot of companies have and working with other people. So obviously they're thrilled about this, and we are too. So that's Chipping. If you guys have any other questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. Of course, Motivation Tutoring also, if you know any students that are looking for help, more than happy to help in that regard too. So
Excellent.
thanks for the 10 minutes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.